None of them pay taxes. This is going to end, and those taxes are going to be paid. Now, that was the comment made by the Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick, saying, hey, cruise lines don't pay their taxes. They owe us money. They are going to start paying taxes. He says that all large ocean-going vessels, they are flagged in foreign countries, such as Panama, Liberia, the Bahamas, but they're flagged that way just so they can avoid paying federal taxes. And goes on to say, when was the last time you saw a cruise ship flying the American flag? Well, is it true that cruise lines don't pay any taxes? Are they flagged in foreign countries to avoid paying taxes? Or is there a little bit more to the story? Is he leaving out some pertinent, important information? Now, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there. They're going to say, of course, the cruise lines are flagged in foreign ports. It is to save money. It is to avoid paying taxes. This should be changed. They shouldn't be allowed to do that. But let's be honest, the cruise lines, they do pay taxes, and they pay a lot of money in taxes. Your major cruise lines have headquarters here in the United States. Carnival Cruise Lines, Royal Caribbean Group, Norwegian, all have headquarter offices in Florida. They employ thousands of people here in the United States, so they are definitely paying taxes. Now, according to the Cruise Lines International Association, or CLIA, cruise lines pay approximately $2.5 billion a year in taxes. Because remember, it's not just federal income tax, they also pay taxes every single time a ship docks here in the United States. It's not like they're sailing in and getting away scot-free. It's not like they're not making any payments. They are. And it's quite a bit when you add it all up. $2.5 billion. And while that's what the cruise lines pay, you also have to take into account the economic effect that cruise lines have. It's estimated that the cruise lines operating the way they operate is generating $65 billion every year. That's every year in economical contributions to the U.S. economy. Remember, every cruise passenger, they've got to travel to the cruise port. A lot of them will stay in a hotel the night before. They purchase food, go to a restaurant, maybe visit an attraction, do something in the cities that they are sailing from. They pay parking fees, they pay Ubers, taxis, transportation. There is a lot that goes into just getting to your cruise vacation, on top of what the cruise lines are paying simply to be docked there. Because every time the ship docks, they pay taxes. They pay taxes every time they dock. They pay taxes around the world. If you booked a cruise before, you know it. You've seen it. Port fees and taxes. So while they're not U.S. flagged, they're still paying taxes, and they're paying a lot of taxes. But there are reasons why cruise ships are not U.S. flagged. And while economics can definitely play a part in why they're not U.S. flagged, there's actually a lot more to it. But it's actually laws here in the United States that cause issues with more of them being U.S. flagged. See, in 1886, they passed the Passenger Vessel Services Act. We've heard of this law before. If you follow cruising, not the first time this one has come up, but this law was passed to help protect American jobs. But it also said that in order for a ship to be flagged in the United States, it has to be built in the United States. It has to be owned by an American company, and it has to be crewed by American personnel. It says that all of the officers on the ship have to be U.S. citizens, and 70% of the crew has to be as well. So just right there, got to be built in a U.S. shipyard, owned by an American company, and crewed by 70% of American citizens. Now, because of this, they don't build cruise ships here in the United States, with the exception of Norwegian Cruise Line's Pride of America. One cruise ship. Anything else built here in the United States, they are small. They are river cruises, smaller ships, and they're very, very expensive. And after World War II, U.S. shipyards Well, a whole bunch of them, they closed. And really, here in the United States, shipyards mainly now focus on military vessels that come with military contracts and guaranteed pay. And it's these contracts that guarantee their profit, and that's pretty much all they build here in the United States anymore. And because of all these laws, even a modern cruise ship built out there now cannot switch, cannot become US flagged because it doesn't meet those requirements that it was built here by an American company, crewed by Americans, when, let's be honest, right now, there are no shipyards in the United States who could even do the job. So cruise ships are built overseas in foreign ports. They are built by foreign shipyards, and they must be flagged by foreign countries. And that's the way it's going to remain unless things change here in the United States and major shipbuilding becomes a thing again. Now, this isn't the first time that cruise ships and taxes, the subject, has ever come up, but it's here again. And what could it mean for cruise passengers if they start putting new taxes on cruise ships, cruise passengers? Well, we all know what it's going to mean, because just like any other business, if their price goes up, if their cost goes up, the amount of money they have to pay goes up, they are going to pass it along to us, the consumer, which means our cruise prices could go up. The price simply to enjoy your vacation could go up even higher than they already are if new taxes are added. Now, no new taxes have been announced. I want to be clear on that. Right now, it is just rumblings coming out of Washington. They are looking for money, looking for more ways to generate revenue for the federal government, and cruise lines are once again in their crosshairs. Been there before, doesn't mean any new taxes are coming, but also doesn't mean there's not. But I really think at the end of the day, when you look at the big picture and they say, okay, cruise lines are already paying $2.5 billion in taxes. They are generating economic growth of $65 billion a year with just simply operating in the United States and people going and taking vacations. And if they increase taxes on cruise lines where it becomes more and more and more expensive, it begins to push people away from taking cruises because of cost, well, then the overall benefit to the country goes down. So it can become one of those situations. Well, if we do this, we could possibly actually make it worse, and at the end of the day, get less money by taxing them further. But at the end of the day, look, the cruise lines operate the way they operate. A lot of it is because it is a operational necessity. Could you imagine, just imagine, if every cruise ship out there sailing out of the United States was American flagged, had a U.S. flag flying off the back of it, and every officer and 70% of the crew had to be U.S. citizens? Would there be enough people applying for those jobs, keeping those jobs, and doing the jobs that crew members currently do, that these ships would even be sailing with enough crew to take care of passengers? Right now, they can recruit people from all around the world. Crew members can come from just about every country on this planet. And that's about what it takes to keep these ships full of crew members, keep these ships sailing, keeping passengers happy. Just imagine what it would be like if they could only recruit 30% of their crew from around the world and 70% had to come from here. I personally think the number of cruises that would be available would drastically go down. The number of ships sailing from the United States would go drastically down, because I don't think that they could maintain the crew members and the amount of crew required to keep some of these large vessels, Royal Caribbean, Utopias of the Seas, Icons of the Seas, out there cruising. I just don't think they would have enough crew. But what do you guys think? Do you think cruise lines are not paying their fair share in federal taxes? Should they be required to pay more? And if they were flagged here in the United States, based on current law, would they even be able to operate at the tempo that they operate right now? All right, and that is going to be our video for today. If you've enjoyed today's video, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you haven't done so yet, do me a favor and hit subscribe. It is free to do so. helps our channel grow. Let you know anytime we put out a new video. Hope everyone out there's having a really great day. And like always, we will see you out on the high seas.